I've made it down. Let's go. Go now. Challenge.
This video manual is designed to acquaint you with the principles and practices most often used by ski areas in the management of their ski lifts. For good reasons, some areas will establish alternate procedures than those discussed here. If your supervisor wants you to follow some procedures different from those illustrated here, remember, the objectives are the same: safe operation of ski lifts. So first, we'd like to give you a general overview of standard chairlift operating procedures using a variety of chairlifts. Although every lift has its own unique attributes, the descriptions and procedures discussed in this video manual apply to all the different sizes and makes of chairlifts found at this ski resort. In this video, we will explain the basic mechanics of how most chairlifts work. In other sections, we will explain and demonstrate daily chairlift preparation and opening procedures, followed by normal daily operating procedures, including how to assist your guest onto the chair, how to check lift tickets, and how to perform a variety of top operator duties. You will learn about special circumstances encountered every day, and some emergency procedures hopefully you will never need. Finally, you will learn how to close your lift in the evening and how to manage an accident or incident at your lift. This overview should allow you to become familiar with your responsibilities and duties as a ski lift operator before you go out on the snow. So prepare yourself. You're about to be bombarded with a lot of new information. But don't worry if you don't catch on to everything right away. You'll find your supervisors and other experienced operators anxious to help you once out on the hill. The first skiers in America were Norwegian miners who brought their 16-foot skis to California during the gold rush. The sport really didn't catch on, however, until the late 1920s, when college ski clubs, plus a few European ski champions imported by wealthy Americans to teach skiing, started ski areas in the Cascades, the Sierra, the Rockies, and northern New England. In Washington, the giant snowfields and glaciers of Mount Rainier and Mount Baker attracted thousands of skiers. In the east, old roads and power line cuts were widened into ski runs. In Yosemite, skiers used pack animals to carry their skis into the mountains, but most American skiers still had to climb the mountain for many hours just to ski for a few minutes. In order for the sport to grow, lifts were needed to eliminate the difficult and exhausting hill climbing. At Donner Pass near Lake Tahoe, this tractor tow was used to take skiers from the end of the road to the old Sugar Bowl, where they still had to climb the mountain to ski. At Badger Pass above Yosemite Valley, this rope-driven up-ski sled lift was one of the first successful ski lifts in the world. It was the rope tow, however, that opened up the mountains to the masses, providing scores of skier entrepreneurs an economical way to start ski areas. Rope tows were simple, inexpensive to build and operate, portable, durable, and fast. They are still the highest capacity ski lifts ever developed. In 1936, the first chairlift in the world was built in Sun Valley, Idaho by Union Pacific Railroad engineers. Based on a hook lift used for transporting bananas down the mountains in South America, this single-passenger chairlift changed the sport of skiing into an industry. Soon, chairlifts were built at Alta, Utah, where they used a bi-cable design, and at Sugar Bowl, and Stowe, Vermont, where the lift rose through the dense forest for 1.5 miles. The trails, however, remained just as narrow. After World War II, skiing really started to catch on as the U.S. Forest Service began actively leasing land for ski area development. During the 50s, rope tows began to be replaced by double chairlifts, like the old Chair 1 at Mammoth Mountain. Double chairs attracted even more people to the sport with a more comfortable, more social, and less strenuous uphill experience. Throughout the American ski industry, lift designers and resort operators, often the same person, constantly experimented with new ideas and improvements. Strange lifts like this kiddie car at North Conway and this jig-back chair tram at Squaw Valley show the extremes both operators and designers went to, trying to improve the uphill experience and attract new skiers to the sport. The double chairlift, however, became the workhorse of the American ski industry. Hundreds were built in the 60s and 70s before the invention of the triple and then quad chair. The first high-speed detachable chairlift in the world was built in 1981 at Breckenridge, Colorado. Today, American ski resorts are setting the comfort standards for the ski industry worldwide with a new generation of high-speed detachable lifts like this quad monocable tram at June Mountain, California. Complementing this new technology is a wide variety of conventional aerial trams and gondolas, surface lifts like T-bars and plateau lifts, and of course, chairlifts. Most ski lifts operate under the same general engineering and mechanical principles. And since most of you will be operating chairlifts, we'll now take a quick look at how they work. Chairlifts are used to transport skiers up the mountain. Some resorts might also use them to transport skiers down the mountain over unskiable terrain. A lift has two terminals, a drive terminal from which the lift is powered, and an idler or return terminal where the lift makes a 180-degree turn, returning the carriers to the drive terminal. Inside the drive terminal motor or control room, you may find an electric panel which distributes the high-voltage electricity received from the local power company to the primary electric motor which drives the lift. The lift's main power switch is usually located on the outside of the panel. The lift will also have a 12 or 24-volt system which distributes power to the low-voltage control panel, the nerve center of the lift. The control panel houses the electronic motor control, safety, and stop circuits. It's often used for troubleshooting electrical problems. The newest lifts are equipped with computerized, programmable circuits. Chairlift motors can deliver between 100 to 1,000 horsepower. Most ski lifts are run by electric motors because they are more efficient, easier to control, cleaner, and quieter than combustion engines. Chairlifts do, however, have a diesel or gasoline-powered auxiliary engine for temporary emergency use when the primary motor cannot be used, usually due to power failures. In order to use these engines, they must be directly connected to the drivetrain using a system of belts or a chain and pin. The electric motor is connected directly to the gearbox or reducer by a shaft or belt. The gearbox simply reduces the motor's high speed down to a more useful operating speed. The gearbox is directly connected to the main shaft, which in turn rotates the bull wheel. Either the drive or the idler terminal may be built on a movable carriage. A carriage limit switch activates the stop circuit if the carriage moves too far in either direction. The haul rope, which is powered by the drive bull wheel, consists of over 100 steel wires twisted to create strands, which in turn are twisted around a rope core. The rope core is saturated with a lubricant, holding the metal strand's shape for many years. Haul ropes vary in diameter from 9/16 to 1 7/8 inches, depending on the type and size of lift. On monocable lifts, like most chair lifts, the haul rope both supports and hauls the carriers. Some carriers, like this center pole double chair, are attached to the haul rope with a clip. The clip is inserted right into the weave of the haul rope. A more common approach is shown on these bale-type double, triple, and quad chairs, which are attached to the haul rope with a fixed grip. The grip grabs onto the outside of the haul rope. There is a match mark painted on the haul rope in front of each grip. Grips are designed to slip a little, but they should slip approximately at the same rate within each particular lift. High-speed detachable chairs have spring-loaded grips that allow the carrier to attach and detach from the haul rope. A long accelerator system moves the carrier to match the speed of the haul rope as the grip attaches. Most fixed grip lifts move about 450 to 550 feet per minute. Detachable lifts can speed along at up to 1,000 feet per minute. All ski lift carriers and haul ropes are supported or held down at various intervals by rollers called sheaves. There are grounding sheaves at both terminals of the lift. These special sheaves disperse static electricity and reduce the risk of lightning damage. Sheaves are usually found in sets called assemblies or sheave trains. The sheave assemblies are supported by the cross arms, which are supported by the lift towers. The lift towers are placed at various intervals depending on terrain and type of lift. To build a chairlift, first a sight line is cut and then widened into a lift line. Six-foot deep holes are dug and a location plate is set in a concrete pad to assure that all the towers and cross arms will be perfectly in line. The hollow towers are usually welded and cut at a fabrication site near the lift construction site. The cross arms and sometimes even the sheave assemblies are attached before either a crane raises them into place or a helicopter lifts the whole 5-ton assembly up the slope to the tower site. Upon arriving at the site, the pilot carefully guides the tower into the hole. Some members of the ground crew jump into the hole, grab a hold of the tower, and wrestle it onto the preset location plate. Once the tower is secure, the foreman signals the pilot and the chopper releases the tower, jetting back for the next assembly. Later, the vertical placement is fine-tuned. Once the terminals are in place, the haul rope is strung. The two ends of the haul rope are woven together or married over a distance of a couple of 100 feet, creating a secure splice. The loose ends are tucked back into the weave, where the strands are joined. Finally, carriers are attached and the lift is load tested. After the lift passes the required inspections, it can be used by the public. The lift is operated from push-button operator stations, or PBOs, located at both the top and bottom terminals and in the motor room. There are 4 or 5 control buttons on the PBO that activate control circuits in the low-voltage control panel, which in turn activate different circuits on the lift. The start button causes the service brake to lift and energizes the motor with a slow speed command. The slow control and fast control cause the electric motor to run at different speeds. The stop button trips circuits that stop all current to the electric motor and service brake. The service brake is the primary brake for the lift and is located on the input shaft of the gearbox. When the stop button is pushed, a circuit stops all current to a switch, which then releases pressure in a valve, activating the service brake. In other words, the brake is released when the current is stopped, so that in case of a power shortage, the brake will automatically release and stop the lift. The service brake is activated when the stop circuit is tripped, either by a stop button, the safety gate, the carriage limit switch, or any other lift monitoring device. Derailment switches located on all shiv trains are activated if the haul rope leaves the shivs. When the haul rope leaves the shivs, a switch is disconnected or broken, activating the stop circuit. Some lifts have magnetic rope position detectors or proximity switches that activate the stop circuit whenever a haul rope leaves its designed path, hopefully avoiding a derailment. There are other brakes besides the service brake. The emergency brake is located on the drive bullwheel flange. It's used in case of a service brake failure or if the lift begins to move backwards, a dangerous condition called a rollback. On some lifts, a red pull ring or handbrake at the drive terminal operator station is connected to a cable that runs directly to the release mechanism. This way, the emergency brake can be released without control circuits. In newer style lifts, the emergency brake is released by a large red emergency stop button located at both ends of the lift, just like the service brake. There are also two automatic backstop devices that are designed to stop the lift if it begins to roll back. The gearbox backstop allows the gearing to turn in only one direction. The bullwheel backstop allows the drive bullwheel to likewise turn in only one direction. If the bullwheel rolls back more than a few inches, the heavy steel pawl drops onto the bullwheel, stopping the lift. Well, that's generally how a chairlift works. Once you are assigned to a lift, you will get to know its idiosyncrasies. Your knowledge of lift mechanics and the special attributes of your lift in particular is important to the overall maintenance and operation of your lift. Pay attention to what the motor and shivs and bullwheel should sound like. Listen for squeaky shivs or other unusual sounds. Check the condition of the chairs and the grips. Watch the match marks for excessive grip slippage. Make sure that the shivs are in line and that the haul rope is riding properly in the groove of each shiv. You should understand the braking control system so that you can troubleshoot a mystery stop before having to call lift maintenance or your supervisor. Your chairlift is like your car. You, the operator, are in the best position to know when something is wrong. Always report anything out of the ordinary to your supervisor. This video manual is designed to acquaint you with the principles and practices most often used by ski areas in the management of their ski lifts. For good reason, some areas will establish alternate procedures than those discussed here. If your supervisor wants you to follow some procedures different from those illustrated here, remember, the objectives are the same: safe operation of the ski lifts. In this section, we will go over the standard procedure for opening a chairlift after a snowfall. On most mornings, the opening procedure will be much simpler. Even so, you can be sure that you will face days much like this one.
Joe, you take 2 and 18. Okay.
When you are assigned to a chair, learn its opening times for weekdays and weekends.
Hey, Gavin, you ready?
Barely moving.
Huh?
I'm working. He's here.
You are? You're just a little
Late,
late?
but hey, I'm here.
You will be expected to be in uniform with a lunch and prepared for the weather by your scheduled time. If you are going to be sick or late, know the call-in procedure to notify your supervisor.
3 people. Chair 2, Gavin's going to stay here for a few minutes. Chair 10, 2 of you going down, and the T-bar, all 3 of you.
You want to be certain that your lift opens on time and that your guests are not unnecessarily inconvenienced. So please, all we ask is that you call.
How about a little custodial work today?
Sure.
Okay, why don't you grab a trash can, trash bag, and that's what around the lodge picking up all the papers that you can.
Okay.
Once out the door, you will travel to your assigned lift station by foot, ski, or snowmobile. Normally, after a snowfall, you will be expected to remove new snow from the loading and unloading areas and certain parts of the lift, such as the carriage, counterweight, and bull wheel. The operators and attendants work as a team to prepare the lift for opening as quickly yet safely as possible. This preparation includes a visual inspection of the lift line for excessive ice or wind damage, clearing snow and ice off all the chairs, shoveling and smoothing the boarding ramps, clearing and positioning the wait here and the load here boards, and preparing your maze by packing or removing new snow, setting up traffic control fencing, and inspecting ropes and flagging. When the crew arrives at the lift, the operator's first order of business is a visual inspection of the lift line for wind damage or excessive ice. Look for carriers that might have blown over the haul rope in the wind or a fallen tree on the line.
Thank you.
After receiving permission or personally determining that it is safe to run the lift, the operator may be required to nudge or bump the lift the shortest possible distance before actually running it. This slight movement or phone call to the opposite terminal serves as a very important warning to any unscheduled lift maintenance personnel that you are about to operate the lift. You can never be too sure that a $5,000 windshield or someone's priceless fingers are not in the way. To bump the lift, push the start button and then push the red stop button as soon as the lift moves. The stop button must be reset in order to move the lift. Wait 5 to 10 seconds and repeat the procedure. After bumping the lift, the operator then runs the lift at start speed for approximately 1 minute in order to warm up the fluid in the gearbox. If the chairs are covered with snow, you can begin clearing them off while the lift warms up. Usually, sweeping the chairs with a stiff broom will clear away even heavy snow. Center post chairs, and especially heavy snowfalls, may require 2 or 3 passes in order to clear all the snow off the chairs. To avoid making extra work for yourself and your coworkers, clean the chairs away from the loading area. After the lift has warmed up for about 1 minute, the operator runs the lift up to full speed. The speed controls are tested, and so is the stop button. The chair height is usually checked at the haul rope's lowest point on the loading sheaves. This is also the load here board location, where the skiers stand to board the lift. Depending on the type of lift, the loading location on bull wheel loading chairs is somewhere between the first sheave and the point where the haul rope clears the bull wheel. The front edge of the chair should meet the knees of an average height woman.
Steve, it's definitely a couple inches too low.
Well, I guess we'll have to start digging.
The chair should be approximately 16 to 18 inches from the snow. If the chair is only slightly too high or low, you'll have to build up or dig out your loading ramp by hand. If the chair is grossly too high or low, you don't need to be quite as enthusiastic as they were in the old days. Instead, call your supervisor. Either the entire area needs catwork, or the haul rope height needs adjustment by maintenance personnel. When the ramp and the load here board are at the proper height, the load here board will also be centered below the haul rope. The weight here board defines where skiers wait before entering the boarding area, and it is positioned differently at various lifts. This board is located as close to the boarding area as possible, but with enough clearance that passing chairs cannot hit waiting skiers. On bullwheel loading chairs, the weight here board is directly behind the load here board. On tangential loading lifts, the weight here board is likewise placed in back, but to the side, just clear of passing chairs. Both boards are level with the snow or even recessed slightly. You do not want your guest skis to catch as they pass over. Enclosure ropes and fencing help control traffic, keeping guests from accidentally entering the bottom terminal and boarding area the wrong way. These should be tied straight and taut. Loose ropes can blow in the wind and might become entangled in machinery or moving chairs. The ropes and fencing are set up differently at every lift. While the bottom operators or attendants continue their duties, an operator or other personnel will inspect the lift line. During the ride up, this operator will inspect all towers, the shiv assemblies for squeaky shivs, the chairs for slipped grips, the haul rope and alignment, and required signage. Once at the top, the operator will perform all stop checks. The stopping distance is noted at full speed. This may be done using the safety gate or a stop button. You will quickly learn the unloaded stopping distance of your lift. If the stopping distance is appreciably longer than usual, notify your supervisor. The service brake may be iced up or require maintenance. The top operator then goes to the top shack and checks all other start, fast, slow, and stop controls. Either a standard dial phone or a sound-powered beeper phone is used to communicate between top and bottom lift stations. The top operator must check for proper signage, proper ramp height and condition, and any required traffic control ropes or cones. The operator then makes sure all items on the daily lift log have been completed and initialed. These items are checked at both the top and bottom terminals. The checklist must be completed and signed every morning before opening to the public. The bottom operators are then notified when it is safe and clear to open the chair. This clearance may be dependent upon weather conditions or if the lift is covered by ski patrol. The top operator fills in the opening time, and the bottom operators notify the waiting guests that the lift is open.
Okay, folks, we're open.
The operators continue to clean chairs, trying not to seat a guest on a snowy chair. Throughout the day, you should keep your eyes and ears open for any abnormal changes in the operation of your lift. Well, that's all there is to it. Remember, your lift should be set up and opened as quickly yet safely as possible every morning. It takes teamwork with everyone keeping busy to do it right. Looking back over all the duties you need to perform, you probably still have plenty of questions. Feel free to ask your training supervisor or other operators about any procedure of which you are unsure. In this section, we'll show you how to operate your chairlift. You'll become acquainted with top and bottom operating terminals, seating guests, loading toboggans, maintaining ramps, chairlift breakdown and emergency procedures, and closing lifts in the evening. Your primary and most important job as a ski lift operator is to courteously help your guests board the chairlift in a comfortable manner. Even though it's the responsibility of the skier to avoid being hit by the chairs, to reach the load here board, and to sit down on time, you should still be in full control of the boarding area, helping your guests throughout the boarding procedure.
Good. And here it is.
Here are a few tips and techniques that might help you run your lift efficiently and help your guests enjoy the ride.
Well, you better hurry up. Okay, looking back. Bye now.
In general, it's important that you stay alert and aware of your environment.
Here it is.
Many problems can be prevented if you are attentive to the waiting skiers.
All right, slip on out, please. All set? Ready? Jump right in, look away from each other.
Talk to your guests. Get their attention by directing each group from the stop here board all the way through the loading process.
How's it going? All right. And here it is. Ready? Slip on out, please. Right up to the board. Look away from each other.
The next group of skiers is more likely to be ready and board the lift properly if they've heard you directing those in front of them.
Bye-bye now.
Active directing also helps your own alertness, timing, and confidence.
And here it is. Hi there. Don't look so nervous. You're fine, you're fine. Lots of time, lots of time.
As the skiers approach the stop here board, check that their pull straps are off the wrists.
That's got them both.
Catch your guests'
Follow this
attention
chair on in.
and keep their attention by giving pertinent instructions.
And look away from
Seat
each
them
other.
comfortably.
And have a good day.
Thank you, bye.
Remind your guests to secure loose clothing or packs.
Hang on to your pack now.
And take a quick glance up the chair line to be certain everyone is seated and that no ski equipment has been dropped.
All right.
The main idea is to keep a 180-degree view of the entire boarding area, from the funnel all the way around and up the chair line.
Good time now. Looks good. Slip on out. All right. Looks good. Next two.
Now, let's take an even closer look at the seating technique.
All set? Yes, here we go.
There's an art to helping the guests board the lift, and it takes practice to get the feel of it. You want to situate yourself so that you can grab the chair before it reaches the guests. Grab hold of the chair on top of the seat, on the side, or on the bail. Hesitate the chair, braking its speed so it doesn't hit the guest at full velocity. Try giving your guests a signal when the chair arrives.
Good. Right behind you, and there you go. And here it is. And have a seat.
If you get tired, try alternating hands or grips. The best solution for fatigue is to trade places with the ticket checker. You should switch several times a day anyway, just to keep things interesting.
Grab that bar, okay?
There you go. All right. Get this, dude.
It'll take you a while to really get the feel of it. During the first few days at your lift, concentrate on perfecting the seating procedure. Over the course of the winter, you will personally see tens, if not hundreds of thousands of guests. You might as well be good at it. After the chair leaves the boarding area, keep an eye up the lift line. Be certain there isn't too much swing and that the guests are seated properly. Especially watch for this condition on stormy, windy days. Slow or even stop the chair if necessary. If wind stops become persistent, call lift operations. The lift may need to be closed.
How are you two? Good.
First run of the day.
Good. Glad to see you out here. Morning.
Morning.
The boarding procedure does not always flow as smoothly as you'd like. As you glance back to the funnel with every chair load, keep an alert eye out for small children, inattentive skiers, or novices skittering and sliding about.
Are you ready?
If anyone appears they might be having trouble or specifically asks for help, you might need to ask them to wait a chair or, using your own discretion, slow the lift.
You ready? Follow this chair out, guys.
You might need to help them to the load here board.
Okay, I want you to look away from each other now.
You may even want to physically help them into the chair.
All set, because here it comes. Grab the outside of the chair. Okay.
Wave in the next group and resume full speed.
How many chairs do you have?
There will be times when you won't see it coming. Suddenly, someone stops before reaching the load here board, or drops the ski pole, or becomes thoroughly confused. Your reaction to situations like these is the trickiest part of your job. Do you run out, grab the guest, and pull them up to the board just in time for the chair? Do you manhandle the chair and attempt to scoop up the whole group with deft maneuvering? Do you slap the stop or slow button every time there's a potential problem? These are all judgment calls that depend on each situation. Expect to be surprised. If you do have a misload, it's important that you sympathize with the guest. Help them out of the way if they are uninjured. Kindly explain to them the proper loading procedure and restart your lift as soon as it's safe. We will fully discuss lift-related incident and injury procedures in another section. Throughout the day, the bottom operator is expected to keep the loading ramp flat and smooth. A rough or slanted ramp makes it difficult for skiers to move from the stop here board to the load here board in the 6 seconds between chairs. A ramp too low or too high makes it difficult to seat guests comfortably. Additionally, try to keep both the stop here and load here boards clear of snow. Recess them slightly so they do not inhibit sliding skis. Use slack times when there are no guests to seat to maintain your ramp. If it's a busy day and there is no slack time, periodically ask your guests to hold up while you fix the ramp.
Sir, would you skip 2 chairs, please?
Work quickly, making sure your guests don't wait more than a few chairs at a time.
Right after this chair passes, you slip on out. There you go.
The frequency of ramp maintenance will depend on snow and weather conditions.
And there it is.
Snowstorms try to bury your boards. Slushy springtime ramps demand constant attention. Use your broom to do light maintenance. Use your shovel for heavy maintenance.
Okay.
Overall, ramp maintenance is a craft that might be difficult at first. With practice, however, you will amaze yourself with your sculpting ability. As in all aspects of your job, take pride in the condition of your boarding ramp and the neatness of the entire boarding area. There are a few special situations you will encounter nearly every day. Right now, we will go over 4 of the most common.
Pretty easy, huh? Okay, now you grab that bar, right? Grab this bar.
We've already mentioned keeping an eye out for small children.
All right, you grab that bar, get all the way in there. Good girl.
They may be too short to easily get into the chair by themselves. Help them into the chair whenever you think it's necessary.
Okay, guys, slip on out. You ready?
You may even want to slow the chair or cross to the other side.
Okay, look back. That's the way. Perfect.
When there is more than one small child, try to help the smallest.
Pull yourself all the way back in there, buddy.
If adults accompany the child, they can assist. If you have extra lift operators or other resort employees immediately nearby, they might also help.
Grab on. All the way in the chair. Come on, scoot back. All right. There you go. Outrageous. Good girl.
As always, use your discretion, guided by common sense. Guests will periodically drop equipment or clothing on the loading ramp or in the area beyond the loading ramp called the pit.
Don't jump, we'll have it set up.
Some people will do anything to save a ski pole. Tell the guests not to worry. Ask the next group to wait while you retrieve the lost item. Send it up with the guest on one of the next few chairs. If the guest dropped a ski, inform the top operator of the chair number that the skiless guest is on. Ski Patrol use chairlifts to return rescue toboggans to their stations. You must assist the patrol efficiently and quickly. When the patrol reaches the stop here board, slow and then stop the lift. Each lift has a slightly different stopping distance. Learning the stopping distance of your lift from slow and regular speeds will aid you in performing certain tasks such as toboggan loading. Stop the chair over the load here board. Help the patrol person load the toboggan bottom side up, slightly hooking it over the back of the chair. Notify the top operator of the toboggan's chair number and tuck in your shirt. The top operator slows the lift when the patrol and sled are about 1 chair length from the unloading ramp. Stop the lift so the patrol person may unload the toboggan at the Unload Here sign. Remember, as with all lift stops, wait around 10 seconds before restarting the lift. The top operator has several important duties. They include watching every unload, responsibility for all lift communications, completing the daily log sheet, downloading, and maintaining the top ramp and top shack. The primary duty of the top operator is to watch every skier unload. Due to a variety of possible unloading problems, you must be prepared to slow or stop the lift. Some people remain on the chair, hanging on past the unloading area. If you see a hanger, stop the lift. Using the public address system, tell the guests to stay seated and notify the bottom station that you are leaving the top shack.
I can get down, I think.
That's okay. Give me your pulse.
Okay.
Assist the hanger by removing their skis, then helping them as they lower themselves down from the chair.
And now I want you to hold on.
If you cannot reach their skis or do not think you can handle the hanger's weight, call lift operations for assistance and explain to the guest that help is on the way.
You'll do better next time.
Thank you. I'm so sorry. I wasn't paying attention.
Okay, be ready and make sure you get off at the sign.
Okay,
Be
thank
especially
you.
cordial to any hanger. They are usually quite embarrassed already. If a ski patrol is present, they will be happy to rescue the hanger for you. If a skier falls on the unloading ramp, ask if they are okay.
Are you okay? Please clear the unloading ramp.
Be sure there is enough room for unloading skiers to avoid the fallen guest. If not, stop the lift. If a skier is missing a ski, inform them over the PA system that you are slowing the chair.
And your ski is coming up right behind you.
Thank you.
Some skiers will buckle boots or wipe their goggles or fix their hair or study their trail map right in the middle of the unloading ramp. Over the PA, politely ask them to clear the ramp.
Please clear the unloading ramp.
The top operator is also responsible for all communications between the lift and the office.
Lift operations, Ann speaking.
Hi, Ann. This is Dave, top of 22. This is for my maintenance call.
Do you have anything to report?
Yes, I do. Our fire extinguisher needs recharging, and the seat cushion on chair 52 is ripped, and you might have the supervisor swing by here. I think our ramp needs cat work.
Okay, anything else?
What happens with the serpentine at the bottom?
It comes down.
That comes down? Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
The dial phone is used to ask for permission to open the lift in the morning, to call in maintenance reports, and to notify lift operations when the lift closes in the afternoon. Likewise, the top operator also calls the office in the event of a 1060 or lift breakdown. Occasionally, a lift will unexpectedly stop or just not run. It should take you only a minute to complete the following procedure. Check all top and bottom controls, especially both stop buttons. Check that the safety gate has not been tripped. If your lift shack is equipped with a stop locator panel, check the derail and remote stop circuits. If you cannot detect a reason for the stop, the top operator should call lift operations. This is now a 1060, the radio code for a breakdown.
1060, chair 2. 1060, chair 2. Please respond. 4-1 responded. 7-3 responded.
Yeah, Dave, we've got a 1060 on chair 20.
After notifying the office, stay off the dial phone. Lift operations, maintenance, or ski patrol may need to contact you. Remember, your guests are wondering, what is the problem?
Please stay seated. We are having mechanical difficulties, and all efforts are being made to fix the problem as soon as possible.
Folks, the chair's down right now. And as soon as
Explain that there is a mechanical problem and recommend another lift if convenient. Do not speculate how long it will take to repair the lift.
Holy, we came to ski.
Follow the directions of lift maintenance personnel. Once the lift is running, immediately notify lift operations. Refer any skiers who inquire about refunds to the courtesy desk at the business office. 1060s are infrequent, but you will probably encounter one. Emergencies, however, such as lift rollbacks, fires, and earthquakes almost never occur. Even so, you should be familiar with the following procedures. If a lift starts moving backwards, immediately pull the red emergency brake ring or push the emergency stop button. The hydraulic or air emergency brake will be activated, halting the rollback.
Holy smokes! Wait there! Stop there!
In case of a fire at your lift, discontinue seating guests. Run the lift at full speed to clear the line and reduce the possibility of damaging the haul rope.
Hi, this is Doug at the bottom of 13. I have an engine room fire.
After calling lift operations, try to extinguish the fire without endangering yourself. If you sense an earthquake, stop the lift immediately. After an earthquake, you must have clearance from the lift operations office before restarting the lift.
Dave, top 21.
Maintenance of the unloading ramp is also a responsibility of the top operator. The ramp should have a flat spot on top the length of a ski, and it should be smooth and free of ruts. The chair height and slope steepness should allow average-sized people to depart smoothly. On many lifts, the lift shack is situated so that you can't both maintain the ramp and stop the lift if necessary. On these lifts, Ski Patrol and your lift supervisors are expected to maintain the ramp. Even so, you are still responsible for its condition. The top operator is also responsible for filling out the daily lift log. The daily log has a list of opening and closing procedures and checks. On the backside, the top operator logs the lift stops made that day. Chairlifts are designed for uphill traffic. There are certain circumstances, however, when downloading is permitted. The most common download is during the midday switch of operators. The morning top operator waits until the replacement arrives and takes over the top controls. The replacement operator then slows the lift so that the download may easily board from the unloading ramp. Downloads may not wear skis and must lift their feet over the safety gate. Run the lift at slow speed until the download is around the bull wheel. Never send anyone around the bull wheel at fast speed, as the centrifugal force could cause a derailment or throw the download off the lift. Speed up the lift and relay the chair number to the bottom station. At the bottom, again slow the download chair around the bull wheel. The download walks off the lift at the load here board. Guests are not allowed to download without clearance from lift operations. The lift is stopped to load and unload a guest who must be accompanied by a ski resort employee. Never download an injured guest. Always call Ski Patrol if there is any injury. Now that you have some idea of how to operate a chairlift, we'll finish this part of your training with the proper chairlift closing procedure. Closing times vary with different lifts, different seasons, and with changing weather conditions. As a courtesy to your guests, close your lift 3 minutes after the advertised closing time. At closing time, rope off the end of the line and continue seating guests until everyone is on the lift. When you load the last chair, relay that number to the top operator. If no one is in line, relay the number of an empty chair. Do not seat anyone after this chair. This eliminates the possibility of a guest being stranded for the night and freezing to death. After calling in the last chair, the bottom operator shovels the ramp and straightens the maze. The lift operations office or your supervisor will inform you if the maze, control fencing, and flagging come down due to grooming or impending snowfall. Meanwhile, the top operator logs the number of the last chair and immediately reports the lift closure to the lift operations office. When the last chair arrives at the top, stop the next chair 2 feet short of the unloading ramp to allow for catting of the ramp. The top operator then completes the daily log, cleans the shack, and shovels the top ramp. Flagging may also need to be stored. Both top and bottom operators must be certain that the stop buttons are reset, the heaters are turned down, lights turned off, and if required, the lift power is turned off. Remove all garbage. Always leave your lift area neat and clean, ready for the next day. Although this videotape has covered a lot of information, we have only discussed the usual daily operation of your chairlift. No doubt some operational situations will arise that you are unsure about. Common sense will get you through most problems. Even so, remember that your supervisors, experienced lift operators, and the lift operations office are all eager to help you fully understand lift operation procedures.
Hi, I'm Paul Rosenlund, and I've been a ski resort attorney for many years. Right now, I'd like to discuss with you the importance of incident procedure and reporting. No matter how carefully and diligently you do your job, you occasionally will have a misload. Usually, you will have done everything possible to avoid the problem, but sometimes the guest simply isn't paying attention, fails to sit down properly, or becomes confused. Unfortunately, some guests try to blame their mishap on the ski resort. Lawsuits and legal fees are becoming an important part of the cost of a lift ticket. We all need to do our part to keep these costs to a minimum. While any responsible ski resort should be willing to pay compensation if it is at fault in an incident, it also needs to be able to defend itself against unwarranted lawsuits. This is the reason why it's important for you to be able to observe, respond to, and describe an incident that occurs at your lift. The observing is the difficult part. Since most incidents are spontaneous surprises, it's impossible to always be ready or in the best location to observe. Even so, your normal, attentive, working attitude will probably make you the best observer on the scene.
I guess so.
Your reaction to an incident is extremely important. Slow or stop the lift if necessary. Do not touch the guest if they are injured. Call ski patrol immediately. Make no comments about the cause or effect of the incident, no matter who you think may be at fault. Call lift operations. Your supervisor will take your place while you fill out the incident report. Refer any questions or inquiries by guests to your supervisor. Always be honest and explicit when describing an incident. Report only what you saw and heard. Report everything you saw and heard, especially statements by witnesses and parties involved. Accurately report your actions before, during, and after the incident. And finally, fill out your report immediately while the events are fresh in your mind. Follow this procedure for any incident you may encounter at your lift or anywhere else at the ski resort. Now we're going to show you an incident. Watch and listen carefully.
Everything going okay today?
It's fine.
Fantastic. Have a nice ride. You're welcome.
Steve, my friend's a beginner. Can we get a little help here?
Sure. Would you like me to slow the lift down, sir?
Actually, I think she'll be all right.
Okay, I think you'll all be okay. As soon as you're ready, you can follow a chair out,
all right,
okay?
thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Let's wait one here, okay? All right, you ready, Sue?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. More ahead.
Come on.
Watch it. Are you okay?
No, my back is hurt.
Okay, just stay right there. I'm going to call patrol, okay?
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Sue, do you have your back brace on?
No, I left
hot tubs last night.
Yeah, Patrol. We have an injury at the bottom of 19. This is Steve. Yes, it's the back. Thank you. Patrol will be here in just a moment, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hi, folks.
Hey.
Do you mind if I get your name for our records?
No, no, no.
Okay, do you know this young lady here?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Remember that we not only need your recollection of the incident, but we also need to contact eyewitnesses. Be sure to get their names, home addresses, and telephone numbers. Now let's see how much of the action and details of this incident you can remember by preparing an incident report.
Back in the old days, skiers lined up pretty well any way they liked. Over the years, however, crowd control and lift line systems evolved alongside improvements in lift technology. Today's multiple straight-lane maze system keeps waiting skiers in order and allows for a smooth and efficient feed into today's high-capacity lifts. No matter how good the system is, it won't control unruly mobs of skiers by itself. It's up to the ticket checker to make the system work. As a lift operator, you have three primary duties: controlling the boarding area, operating the top terminal, and managing crowds through checking tickets. Your best tools for efficiently managing large numbers of skiers are an assertive attitude and a properly constructed maze. Most American ski resorts use a simple, efficient, and flexible multi-lane maze system. This system enables you to control enormous crowds while at the same time check every ticket and pass. Although each lift's maze has some unique attributes, all mazes at this resort use the same principle. The typical chairlift maze has 5 to 10 50-foot lanes. These lanes are the width of one chairload of skiers. There's room for additional lanes if necessary. There's a special ski school lane on the outside. These lanes all funnel into one. The coyote is optional. There is traffic control flagging and fencing protecting the maze and lift. The ticket checker is the gatekeeper, keeping all lanes moving in an orderly progression. Your supervisor or ski relief will show you how to set up the maze at your lift. The stakes are even and properly set. Ropes are straight and taut. Throughout the day, keep an eye out for loose ropes or stakes. Skiers will occasionally find new uses for your ropes, loosening them in the process. Provide a lined garbage can. You'll need it for all the candy and gum wrappers people throw on the ground. Try to keep the maze area neat and clean.
Hi. Is there an intermediate run down here at all?
Yeah, there's a real nice one. It's called Saddle Bowl.
You guys can go ahead.
The ticket checker, the host of the lift, is the first crew member to greet skiers. Be receptive and prepared for a wide variety of questions. Study your trail map, and when skiing on your days off, become familiar with the terrain, trails, snow conditions, and other lifts in your area.
Okay, here's chair 3. Here's where you're at. So you want to go up the chair, and then you can just go down and around the back side.
Oh, I see.
Learn how to direct skiers of differing abilities to the various lodges and base lifts. You are an authority figure in your guest's eyes. Live up to their expectations by becoming a reliable information source.
Of course.
Great, thanks.
My pleasure.
If you do not know the answer, direct the guest to someone who does.
How you doing? Having a good day?
Obviously, the ticket checker's main job is checking tickets and passes. You are expected to check every ticket and pass. It's important that you recheck the passes every time a skier comes through your line. Daily lift tickets have that day's date printed on them.
Hey. Having a good day?
To check a ticket, grab hold of it, twisting and tugging it slightly to be certain it's firmly attached. Punch the ticket once on the skier's first run in the morning. If the ticket has already been punched, you must still check that it is properly attached and is printed with the proper date. Punching the ticket serves as a validation process for the business office.
Thanks. How you doing, sir?
All right.
Having fun?
Yeah.
Good. Hello.
All right.
Ticket? Okay, go ahead.
There you go. Have a nice day.
Daily lift tickets should be folded over the proper type wire wicket and attached through buttonholes, zippers, belt loops, or fabric. Skiers may not attach tickets to easily transferable items such as gloves, hats, or belts. Some guests may stick the ticket to their parka or loop it over a button or through the bail on their ski boot buckle. These attachments are unacceptable. You can fix some misattachments in the field, so always carry some extra wire wickets in your pocket. If you can fix a ticket, explain to the guest why you are changing it.
What are you doing?
Go ahead. Oh, I'm putting your ticket on a new wire. See how easily it came off the old ticket? This way you won't lose it again.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. There you go, sir.
Thanks.
You have a good day.
All right.
If you are unable to fix the ticket, mark it with your chair number and direct the guest to the nearest ticket office.
Sorry, sir, but you can't have your ticket on your boot.
How come?
No. No. Because you could easily take it off and give it to somebody else.
You're hallucinating. I'd never do something like that.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir, but you're going to have to go on down to the business office and they'll give you another ticket. Next to go. I'll mark your ticket. You can ride up the chair one time, and then you're going to have to go on down.
This is ridiculous.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. You can talk to the people in the business office about it.
Suit yourself.
Okay, you have a good day now.
Wait, I lost my lift ticket. I lost all of them. I've been skiing here all morning. Don't you remember? I had it.
Yeah, I do remember you. Well, don't worry.
If a skier has lost their ticket, they too may ride up your lift once, but only to reach a ticket office. The business office may replace the ticket, but only if you are positive the skier used your lift earlier in the day. Multiple day tickets are on a string around the skier's neck. They are printed with all the dates that ticket is valid. Punch a hole next to the appropriate date on the skier's first run in the morning. Multi-day ticket holders must also show you their ticket every time through the line. Authentic season and employee passes can be identified by the special background in the photo. Inspect every picture and face carefully. Some mornings you will be given the names of skiers with known bad passes. You might want to write these names down. If you suspect a bad pass, allow the skier to board your lift. Note their chair number and call lift operations. A supervisor or ski patrol will take care of the problem at the top.
Another one! I want to see my lawyer! You can't do this!
It is a primary responsibility of the ticket checker to regulate the crowd so that all available chairs are filled. It is extremely frustrating to wait in a long, slow lift line while empty chairs go up the hill. To keep the lift filled to capacity, the ticket checker must keep the funnel full. On crowded days, there should always be 4 or 5 chair loads of skiers in the funnel. For the best traffic flow, check tickets starting with the lane closest to the funnel. Occasionally look at the back of the line. When the maze becomes full, open 1 or 2 additional lanes.
Like the rest of the road, follow the person on your right.
Be certain the skiers in these new lanes do not get too much unfair advantage. Have them stay even with a skier in one of the existing lanes.
Red right there. Go up as she does.
When the crowd lightens and the line shortens, you may want to close a lane so you don't have to work more lanes than necessary. When you need to open or close lanes, or while you perform other special duties, you may allow a few skiers to board without checking their tickets. While it's important that you check every ticket possible, it's even more important to keep the line moving and the chairlift fully utilized, especially on busy days. Along with keeping the funnel full, try to fill every chair to its maximum capacity by pairing up singles. Triple chairs usually have a singles line to draw from. On double chairs, try to find another single in the first few rows.
You're single, huh? Do you have any singles right here? No? Oh, wait.
Ski school, ski patrol, resort management, and other uniformed on-duty resort employees are allowed to use the ski school lane.
Wait right here now. Okay, you two come here. Got your ticket?
When ski classes arrive, finish checking the row you're on. When you come to the ski class, check the first chair load and then ask the rest of the class to follow you up to the head of the funnel. Call in skiers from the regular line, alternating one group of regular skiers with each chair load of students.
Okay, next to ski school class. Come on up here. You two wait. I like these two over here. Okay. Thanks. Go ahead. Hey, you two. How you doing? Hey, the next two, right there.
On busy days, try to pair up single students or patrol persons with single, regular line skiers.
Thanks. Go ahead.
Redirect unauthorized skiers to the regular line.
How you doing? Sir, are you in ski school?
No, my friend's right over there.
Well, I'm sorry, but you have to go
Come
around.
on, he's just right over there. He's a single.
See the sign right there? This is for ski school and management only, so you'll have to go around. I'm sorry. Next time you'll know.
Most guests cheerfully follow the rules and your instructions. Even so, you'll run into a few individuals who will always try to beat the system.
Sir, are you 12 or under?
Oh, God, he's going to cut me, huh?
Yeah, I don't think you're under 12. You're going to have to go down to the business office and go get another ticket.
I didn't know that.
Of course, if you're 65 or older, you can ski for free.
If the skier insists they are 12 years or younger, don't argue. Allow them to board and proceed to check other tickets.
Come here.
Some skiers try to use the lifts without buying their tickets honestly. They purchase or find used lift tickets. Since they must cut the wire wicket to transfer the ticket, they must also try to hide the cut from their worst enemy, you, the diligent ticket checker.
How about Moose? Moose and Squirrel here. You want a ticket? $5.
So, look for tickets with a cut or broken wicket. Be especially leery of a cut wicket wire pushed down into the ticket.
Thank you. Go ahead.
As with the bad pass, if you suspect ticket fraud, allow the skier to board and call lift operations. Every once in a while, the ticket checker and bottom operator switch jobs. At the end of the day, the maze and funnel should be neat, clean, and free of ruts. All ropes should be tight. If lift operations ask you to take everything down due to snowfall or grooming, you may take the maze down before closing time if there is no crowd. The funnel stays up until the last guest is seated and the lift is closed. Flagging and fencing stay up until all skiers are off the hill. Ticket checking, especially on busy days, is an important and at times exhausting job. But like your other duties as a lift operator, it can be a lot of fun if you learn to do the work to the best of your ability and keep a positive, assertive attitude.